Hey, I'm Bill Walton, and you're at Sports School. Defense, an art, a science, technique involved, but a lot of it is just plain old-fashioned hard work. Number one, we start with the stance. Guys, jump into your stance here. Good wide feet there. Keep the palms up all the time. You're going to be reaching out, trying to deflect the ball. Have a good balance, feet not too wide apart, about the same width as the shoulder so that you can move. Remember, in basketball, it's all about balance and quickness, and balance is defined as having the head directly over the midpoint between the 2 feet. But you also have to be able to move at all times. And so as we start sliding to our left all the time, we see the guys and using their arms to help them slide, sliding back to the right, sliding back to the right. The feet don't ever cross, and notice how they don't come up and down each time. They stay in that knees flexed position, always ready with the eyes and the head focused on the target. Mostly the ball, but also your individual opponent. Now we're also able to slide forward and close out on a man who's going to be pulling up to shoot the shot. And we also have to be able to retreat. And when you retreat, you have to have a hand that's feeling backwards because you want to keep your eye on the target all the time, but knowing where that back screen might be. Okay, knees flexed position, defense, ready? Sliding to the left. That's right. Now come back to the right, come back to the right. Attack the ball, close out backwards. Close out, retreat, retreat, retreat. Very nice. Okay, we're going to add another element to it in that when I say ball, you go up and you grab the rebound. Okay? Knees flexed position, palms up. Palms up, not arms too far out. Remember, now you're guarding somebody. He's going to be in front. The hands have to be here, the elbows just off the side of the torso so you can flick out and reach. But those arms are going to give you balance as well. Sliding to our right, now back to our left. Retreat, retreat, attack the ball. Okay, now go up in the air and get that ball. Ball, please. This is the game of basketball. Give me that ball. Who wants it? Come on. Let's go. Defensive position. Okay, take our stance. Now, arms too far out there, Dante. That much better, much better. Loosen them up. Keep the hands loose. Shake out the hands. Shake them out. You don't want broken fingers or jammed wrists. Attacking the ball here. Closing out defensively. Retreating, retreating. Okay, now go up and get that ball. Give me. Okay, land in your spot. Slide to the left. Slide to the left. Come back to the right. Retreat. Retreat. Attack. Close out. Up in the air and get that rebound. Okay. And that is how you prepare your basic fundamental defensive concept as we move into now the strategy of what our defense is going to be, which will be based on forcing your opponent to do exactly what he doesn't want to do. Now we find ourselves guarding a man. The offense has the ball, the defense, his position. Make a decision as to what you want the offensive player to do. As a defender, you want to be the guy that dictates the tempo and the action. So if he's a right-handed player, you want to force him to go left. Get this left foot up there a little bit to force him in this direction. Now, your eyes want to rest right on this part of his body, the mid-torso area. This is the one part of the body that cannot fake. That has to be where you're going. You don't need to worry about his eyes unless you're really, really good. Then the sense of where your hands go. Wherever the ball is, that's the level that your hands have to be. If the ball comes up for a shot, then your hands come up with it. But the worst thing you could possibly do is have your hands up here when he's got the ball down there. The hands defensively stay at the same height and level as the ball. And then your concept defensively is to make him do something that he's not skilled at. Figure out what it is that he can't do. Can he use his offhand? Can he shoot from the outside? Can he dribble at all? Can he make passes? Whatever it is that he can't do, that's what you let him do, and you concentrate your whole defensive strategy on shutting down the strengths and power parts of his game. In live action, we have a scene where offensive player will be able to get whatever he wants by just going right by him and scoring at the hoop. Throw it down, big man. All right, one time. Okay, but now you have to make adjustments. That's what defensive basketball is all about. He figures that out. He's got a strong right hand, and he slides his feet, positions his feet initially so that he's forcing the player to use the left hand. Now, as a defender, your strategy hopefully will be to make him take a tough shot, and then when he finally finds himself in dire straits, that's when you come back and either strip the ball or send it back, reject it, and get your team off to the races in offensive transition. The good sliding of the feet, the good balance, don't reach too much. The feet coming together but never crossing. Never crossing and waiting for the player to commit himself to an improper, incorrect, or inefficient move on the offensive end. When you're playing basketball on the defensive end, there are going to be times when the opponent is wide open. You have to be able to rotate, leave your man, and close out on this defender. So when the ball is swung to the offensive score, he goes for a pump fake. You can't be just running by the man. We have to be able to close out. So when that ball comes in, the proper technique is going to be to slide in and close down. But as we noticed, when the ball was pump faked in the triple threat position, the defender's hands went way too high, too early. The man with the ball has the ball there, and the hands are either here or here while the ball is here. The defense is out of balance, and he is not going to be able to make the appropriate play. So when you close out, make sure that you're sliding up on the strong side hand of the player you're guarding so that you close out on that side, forcing him to go to his weak hand if he goes at all. Hopefully, though, the goal and the design is to get him to come to a complete stop, and your defense shuts down the play. Outstanding, could not be better. We'll give him an A from sports school. Defense, like every other aspect of the game of basketball, is all about footwork. That footwork, though, is a result and is a product of your strategy. What is that design going to be? What is your plan? Are you going to allow guys to drive to the baseline? You're going to allow them to drive to the middle. It's the same as when you're guarding a man individually. If you're going to force him to the baseline to keep him out of the middle because he's not effective along that baseline, or you have great defensive rotation coming from the weak side, that's one thing. So as the ball comes in, you'll close out on the top side, forcing him to that baseline. If we decide that this guy is great along the baseline and we don't want that swing pass along the baseline to the man standing wide open in the far corner for the three-point dagger, then we close out on the baseline side. And the ball comes in and he's right there, we force him to the middle. While every coach will tell you something different based on what his individual strategy is to what he wants, and that's what you ultimately have to listen to, realistically, you want to give the guy his weak hand going away from the strong part of the basket. This is where a player is most dangerous, right in front of the basket, because he's got all sides to work on. And so while you'll hear over and over, don't give up the baseline, don't give up the middle, it's best if you can just shut him down totally and keep him out. But what you don't want to do is have a plan and then you're unable to execute that plan because you don't have the proper footwork, you don't have the proper discipline, the organization, the commitment, or the physical fitness level to execute that plan. And the reason why they say to keep the players and the opponents out of the middle is that when he's in the middle, he can score from here, he can pass, he can set up everybody else. Plus, they keep themselves, the offensive team, with the ball in the middle of the floor in good floor balance so that they're not getting killed in their transition defense. If you find a point guard or the ball along that baseline or in the corner, you're often at a great advantage defensively. So think what you're going to do, why you're going to do it, and how you're going to effectuate that plan as we close out one more time here at Sports School with a man trying to get the guy out of the middle. The fine art of blocking shots creates an ironic situation in the game of basketball, in that the better you get at it, the fewer opportunities you're going to have, because when you're really good as a shot blocker, they won't even take a shot, and then you've really done your job. Let's go back to just the defensive stance, and you're guarding your man. You don't want to think that you're going to block every shot. Your thought process has to be, I'm going to make him miss, and then either my teammate or me is going to get the rebound. So as you're in your position here, you want to have your lead hand up on the side of where the ball is, right there. And as that ball comes up and down out of that triple threat position, the hand goes with it. And then, because you have forced yourself to be such a disciplined player that you have eliminated his options, at the very end, you just poke the ball away. When you're playing defense, this is where your hands belong. Not really down here and never up here until you're actually jumped to extend to block. If you find yourself guarding a man like this when he has the ball in the triple threat position, you are totally out of the play and you are going to get beat. And the refs have realized that you've already bailed out and every call is going to go against you. Keep your hands here. Be ready to move. Be ready to pounce. But wait for him to bring the ball into your hand. And then when you make contact with it, because even though we've talked throughout this exclusive session here at Sports School about how this is a rough and contact game, it's never rough, your contact with the ball. It's never a hard slam down. It's never a punch of the ball, which is illegal. It's always the good, quick, hard movements of your body, of your arms, of your hands, and then that contact with the ball itself, whether it be on a shot, a pass, a dribble, a rebound, or even a block. It's very gentle so that you can control it and push it off to your teammate and then get that fast break going. Blocking shots, what could be more fun? Sending it back of guys who are trying to come in and throw it down. But how do you practice that? You got to work with your teammates. Get a guy to come in and you practice moving, standing over the top of him. He can take whatever kind of shot he wants, and then you practice all the different moves you're going to use defensively with the quick hands to keep the play going by never coming down hard, never going for pump fakes. And that repetition of being on the court with an opponent will really help build your fundamental baseline of who you are as a basketball player. Then when you get good at that, then you get a bunch of your guys say, hey, give me a layup line out there. And then you start at the weak side over here, and you have to practice as they come to the hoop. You have to practice closing out and becoming a defensive shot blocker. Now, you have to do this without fouling, do this without causing or creating any injuries, and never let balls roll underneath your feet. And as we start doing this with live action, we see what the opportunity, oh, send it back. Shades of Bill Russell, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Nate Thurman. Oh, yes. Very nice. Good, strong move there. One point of emphasis, as the defensive player, what you want to do, identify what the offensive attack man has as his physical capabilities. Know where he can jump from on the court, where he wants to jump from on the court to make it to the basket area, and then you have to meet him this far outside of that spot. Because nobody wants to jump from too far out to where they get caught up in the air without being able to do anything. Everybody wants to come in and make the uncontested play, come in for the slam and then throw it down. So as you see him and you identify where he's going to go, you've got to move quickly and get in front of him. And as a closeout shot blocker, your strategy has to be always, it never changes, make him do something that he doesn't want to do. Which is, first of all, get in front of him, make him turn his back, and third, make him pump fake. Once he's done those three things, he has no chance whatsoever, as our demonstrators here at Sports School will now show at this point. Very nice. Making him come to a stop. Tease him with the jump shot there. Come all the way back. Okay. You're sending them all back. Change direction. Nice. Very nice. Now, sometimes this guy is going to be great, and he's going to have a distinct advantage on you. And there are opportunities when, yes, theoretically, you want to always get your chest in front of him coming to the basket. There will be times when you don't have that luxury or that opportunity. So as he's coming, you might find yourself having to let him go by and then come from the backside and block it. Now, that's a very difficult thing to do. Only the best can do it, and that's why you're here at Sports School, to get all the information.